always felt weird watching like kiddie shows and whatever.
And Disney's evolved a lot from like those little kid cartoons to where they're trying to pander to as many people as possible.
Well, I mean,
it's actually gotten a little pathetic.
I mean,
it really has.
it's I know they bought Marvel and now they bought Lucasfilms and oh yeah, that reminds me.
They don't screw the pooch on
I
that
found I did find out, like, confirm wise, that Star Trek 3 is not, repeat, not being filmed or directed by J.J. Abrams.
Interesting.
Yep. So
I learned something interesting in the film business today too.
Oh.
Apparently, let's see, there was this one movie I saw a trailer for today because I was bored before I went to go to watch the wrestling event tonight, and I decided to start looking up movie trailers. There wasn't that many interesting ones. However, one that I did see called The Seventh Son with Jeff Bridges, because Jeff Bridges is fucking awesome.
Right.
It looked like it was going to be a great movie. It's a medieval fantasy kind of movie, monsters and sword fights and all that fun shit. The only problem is, apparently it was due out in January. Still hasn't come out. Because apparently Warner Brothers and the other company involved in making it, their contract ran up and they split. It's not the only movie that's had to suffer from it either. Let's see here. There's the same director that directed that. He was also directing the Warcraft movie, which was, I think, in
a Warcraft movie.
Yeah.
Serious.
That's been in the works for years. It's in post-production.
I mean,
it's coming out next year.
Okay, I was gonna say, is it like the Halo movie that was only talked about and never ever done?
No. It's in post-production, and it's supposed to be out next year. So.
Oh yeah.
The one that surprised me when I was reading information, and there's not much on it that I've found thus far, but I didn't look too hard yet. I'll look more when I get home. There was apparently the guy that's directing Warcraft and directed the Seventh Son was also in the works. I haven't started anything, but it was in the works of him being the director for a Mass Effect movie.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That actually could. Oh. Yeah. That could be really, really nice.
I am a big fan of the Mass Effect series.
No, really? I've never ever noticed.
Right. I will talk that game up like a motherfucker. Except for the ending in number 3. Even when they fixed it, it's still kind of bleh. But it is what it is.
Here he goes.
It is what it is. It was still. I'm not gonna let the ending of one game in the series actually throw me off. The series is still great. I love it. I've replayed most of the games a couple of times. I plan on doing it one of these days, just doing a sit down and replaying all of them in just one straight shot. That'll take a week or so, but I've never played the most hardcore setting of them either, so I might work my way in.
Might step up your game, huh?
Yeah, I might play the first one, readjust myself to it, and then go back and play the first one in the hardest setting again and see how long that fucking takes me. And then go to number 2, rinse and repeat, and then likewise for number 3.
Interesting.
So, if I can get streaming to work, then who knows?
Yay! Oh yeah, another movie I went to go see, Jersey Boys. It was a joking type thing between my mom and I,
right.
Because she was like, well, we can go see Transformers 3 or go see Jersey Boys. Like, I really rather go see Transformers 3 or 4, thank you, because
did it twice.
Because Jersey Boys just look like a overgrown musical of, for Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, which it actually is on Broadway. But oh wait, let me finish my story. So we went to go see Transformers 4. And after that, my mom leans over and I go, so how'd you like the movie? And she goes, well, I feel like I have to lie. That way you have to take me to go see Jersey Boys. Because the joke or the joking bet was that if she didn't like Transformers 4, I had to go take her to see Jersey Boys. So my mom, dad, grandma, and I yesterday went to. Sorry, I'm going back to my third shift schedule, so days are kind of blending. Yesterday day before, and of course, how would you know? You wouldn't know. But anyway,
So Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah. What? Wait. Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah.
And
Saturday.
so we went to go see it, and it was really good. Like they had some I don't know. I thought it was pretty comical because you know how when you're teenagers and whatever, you know, you're doing all sorts of stuff to get yourself into trouble and whatever. And, you know,
I remember what it was like being a teenager. I ain't that old.
You're using about every word under the sun, and the F word is fun. And
now it's just ingrained.
Yeah, right. I know. And when I go back to work, I'm gonna look at everybody and be like, "Oh,
how the fuck are you?"
Yeah, pretty much. No, I'm kidding. I like the people I work with, believe it or not.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? How the fuck are you? It's fine. It's not being like mean.
Oh, no, that is
true.
Be
like, hey, how the fuck are y'all?
Let's go out drinking. Wait, our shift just started. Yeah, we'll be alright. No, anyway, I went to go see this, and it was kind of funny. I did not know this. Leroy has a movie theater.
Huh.
Yeah. It's like one of the older style movie theaters where there's one theater, and they show a couple of different movies, you know, in alternate during days and stuff like that.
Right.
I think that's how they do it, is alternate, you know, one day this movie, one day that movie.
Seems like that'd be how it is, or something like that.
And, but I thought that was interesting because I never been into that kind of style movie theater.
Right.
But also I thought it was funny because a lot of people that were, you know, around my parents' age were all in the theater. You know, I'm.
So you felt like you would have gotten disappointed by like 100 different parents if you just stood up and said, "Fucking pussy."
No, because during the movie, I think I heard "fuck" over probably 300 times in the movie.
Well, it is a movie called Jersey Boys.
Well, I know, but I mean, it's like my grandma, who's 82, 83,
And also a sweet lady.
and you know, but she didn't you know, balk or anything about the movie. You know, she enjoyed it. I was like, wow, okay, yeah.
Well, so there you have it, folks. Transformers 4, good enough. You have to lie about it to get your son to take you and your own mother to go see a movie with a lot of the word "fuck" in it.
Mother-in-law.
Oh yeah, mother-in-law. Sorry, my apologies. But to go see a movie that has the word "fuck" in it about 300 or so times,
and
which apparently was also a good movie.
I actually did not expect it to be a good movie. I really didn't, or at least from my movie tastes, I was wrong. I really was wrong about that.
Speaking of your movie taste, sometimes our taste actually coincides together.
Some days, yes.
Occasionally. Like X-Men.
Oh boy. He went to go see it, I did not.
Something like that. I gotta admit, I really liked it. I was worried, but I liked it. There's some things that...
You were worried?
Well, it's the thing of being a fan of comic books in general, but especially the X-Men. Like they're the one like comic book superhero group and all that I really grew up on a lot.
Right.
I've read a lot of the comics. I've watched the TV series and all that stuff because I have words. Watched the TV shows. Seen all the movies and all that shit. I remember back in like the late 90s, no, mid to late 90s, there was a TV movie that was based on the X-Men called Generation X
Oh yeah.
before like
I
the
remember
Hollywood
that.
ones came out and shit like that. Like
Yeah.
I watched that. I had that thing on VHS. I watched it more than once, not gonna lie. And so it's like, you know, I've been a big fan of the X-Men for a long time. And so I was a little worried about how the storyline would feed out and all that because of how shit things went with like the lore and the canon for the X-Men First Class.
Oh yeah.
It was one of those things that really worried me about it. And it's like, okay, but for the first time watching it, I decided to just do the right thing. Same thing I pretty much did for First Class when I first watched it, was take the lore, put it aside, and just go into it as I'm watching what's supposed to be a badass movie. And I did so. And it was a badass movie. I went into it expecting to be disappointed with the lore, but they didn't really tweak a lot of the lore too much.
Oh, that's good.
So I wasn't too worried. Although in the original comic books, based on that time frame, the actual Days of Future Past storyline, okay, in the movie they have, small spoilers, but it's nothing big. In the movie they have the character Shadowcat, or Kitty Pryde, whichever you want to call her by, or also known in real life as Ellen Page.
Yay! Yeah.
They had her beautiful self. Have the ability to, I don't know how she got it, but have the ability to send someone's mind back in time. They send Wolverine's mind back in time. Hence why it was an important thing. In the original comics, somebody else helped send Kitty's mind back in time to save the day. So,
Meow?
right. Anyway, so a little different there, but in the long run, still really, really good. Got to see some interesting things, and as you know, all movies, there's some neat little Easter eggs and shit like that are Marvel movies. The only really kind of weird, interesting part is that the movie had the character Quicksilver in it. Here's the tricky part. The next Avengers movie is supposed to have Quicksilver in it as well.
Yeah, it is.
And his sister Scarlet Witch. They're going to be both different Quicksilvers. It's only because Fox owns the X-Men series right now, though Marvel officially holds the rights to, not Marvel, Disney holds the rights to all Marvel products, but Fox has the rights in ways of actual making movies for the X-Men series, which is unfortunate at this point because damn them.
I know. It would be nice to see an Avengers that actually...
Yeah, because at some point in time, Wolverine becomes an Avenger.
I know.
So
that's why I was like, dude, that'd be awesome. And
yeah.
It's like, no, we're Fox and
not
to shatter
to mention,
your dreams.
Not to mention, like, Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man and Wolverine in the comics, they actually get along really well. They're good friends.
Yep.
Wolverine fought during the World War that Captain America was in with Captain America. They were friends.
I did not know that.
So it's like, to not be able to throw, like, Wolverine in there every so often, it's kind of heartbreaking thinking you're not going to get to see these people interact like they could. Like, you're not going to get to see the X-Men show up in the Avengers movies and all that. I think if they could, I think things would be done a little bit differently. I don't think that there would have been a Wolverine Origins movie made that fucked the lore in the ass like it was dirty prostitute.
I don't know, the first Origin movie that I saw I thought was good. The second movie they made, I was like, wait a minute, they just like null and voided that last movie they made.
Wait, which movie are you talking about?
The first Wolverine.
There was only one Wolverine Origin movie.
Well, I know, and then they had that other Wolverine movie. And remember where I forget who who it was, but it was about a Chinese soldier that was
Japanese.
Japanese.
And that wasn't actually a Wolverine movie. That was categorized as a regular X-Men movie.
Oh,
It's
okay.
It's just by that point, most of like what Charles Xavier had worked for was kind of destroyed. Wolverine thought Xavier was still dead and all that stuff. Because that movie took place after the events of the third movie, whereas the origin.
Oh, it did.
Whereas the origin
See,
one
I
took
didn't know
place.
that.
Yeah, the origin one took place like in the 80s. The thing is, a lot of the lore in the Wolverine origin movie was a bit more
See,
accurate.
I'm learning something here, guys.
The stuff in the Wolverine origin movie was a little bit more accurate than the stuff in the X-Men First Class. Like, Cyclops was actually like a teenager in the 80s and shit like that. Like, okay, that's a little bit more applicable compared to his younger brother being a teenager in the 80s.
Right.
It's like, okay.
Kind of makes sense.
Anyway, that aside, the movie was really good. They had some kind of callbacks and some Easter eggs and fun little things like that in it. Quicksilver's character mentions, like, when he saw Magneto's character manipulate metal for the first time, he's like, huh, my mom used to know a guy who could do that. Quicksilver actually being Magneto's kid, so. But, yeah, it was interesting, and it's like, and now that I want to go back and look at the lore, like, some of it fits for some of the stuff, but they changed a lot of things for the cinematic sake of, like, it was more interesting for the fans to see Wolverine go back in time and his brain inhabit his old body from that time period, basically. Like, his consciousness went back, not his whole body. So his consciousness went back in time and inhabited his old body. At one point in time, he starts to lose the connection with his old body during a really important part in the movie, and then he doesn't realize, like, when his old self comes to, he doesn't know what the hell is going on one bit.
Oh.
So it gets kind of interesting. And but it's a good movie. It has kind of it has a pretty good happy ending. You know,
that's good.
Like, it's one of those things, like a lot of the stuff that's happened in the previous movies, the way time was changed because of Wolverine going back to the past erased a lot of things that happened in the previous movies.
What?
Mm-hmm. It nullified a lot of things because he changed things. Because if it stuck with the original timeline, the way where they were in the newest movie in the present time, or future, or whatever, was they were being hunted by the Sentinels from the Sentinel program. That's kind of a common knowledge thing for the movie in general, if you're a fan enough. So the idea was Wolverine had to go back in the past to try to stop the Sentinel program from happening, which was thrown into full swing when Mystique, back in the 80s, showed up and shot the guy who was originally planning the Sentinel program, shot him dead center in the head at some point. So he had to go back in time and stop her, more or less, and stop that from happening, and blah, blah, blah. So a lot of things got reset because a lot of things got changed in the past. And I mean a lot of things. You mind if I spoil something for the very end? It's not something like utterly major, but it's just one of those kind of interesting facts that got reset.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm all ears now.
You'll get this to start talking about, but in the third movie, Cyclops was killed at like the beginning of the movie, right?
Right.
And by the end of the movie, Jean Grey was killed too. By the end of Days of Future Past, they're back. Because Wolverine changed enough with the past Charles and things like that. He gave him some, like, couple pieces of advice that then changed the way things would happen in the future. So,
Weird.
yeah, but it was cool because it has a great lead up for the next coming X-Men movie, which is supposed to be out next year, I think.
Really?
X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh boy.
And for those who don't know, Apocalypse is actually the mutant, the first mutant, who basically hibernates off and on and comes back with his 4 horsemen of Apocalypse, who are also mutants, to inevitably try to conquer the world.
All right.
They, during the credits, did show something that definitely showed that Apocalypse is the next thing coming. So, and I think it's supposed to be set in the late 80s when it happens, I guess.
So they made the X-Men movies like they're making the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, well,
weird.
Kind of. The Fast and the Furious only did it with Tokyo Drift, where it's like, we're going to set this one ahead. Partially because they probably really wanted to put out a new one and right ideas at the time. So, like, alright, Tokyo Drift, we'll do that.
And everybody went, what in the fuck is
Right,
this?
it's like we thought it was all, linear timeline. Then we find out, oh wait, Han's still alive. Did he, actually escape? No, this is set before that. Oh. Shit. That means now we get to know the character more, and then he dies. God dang it. Because I like Han.
I did too. I was sad to see him die.
Yeah. So it was really all kind of they did number 3, which was Tokyo Drift, and then they did all the other precursors, and now it's led up to it. And then somebody dies in real life.
Right.
So, which is still unfortunate.
Yes.
But yeah, it's kind of like that, but it's like the way they keep releasing them, they're all over the place. Like, hey, we've got 3 X-Men movies out. Cool. Now let's do a Wolverine origin. Okay, fine, a little bit of an origin story after the original 3 movies are done. Interesting choice, but understandable. They had the other 3 movies to build up Hugh Jackman as Wolverine and build up the fan base for the series. And then almost throw it all away with the origin movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the origin movie was good.
It was good. There was just a lot of inconsistencies in the lore.
See,
and the newer movie kind of makes even more inconsistencies between the origin story and the new stuff.
See,
so,
and like now, I never knew really any of the lore to X-Men, so I just was like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah,
you're just kind of a general fan, and like it looks like a good movie series.
Yeah,
and you started watching it.
Yeah,
and it turns out to be good. I'm one of those people, like, I knew the lore before the movies started coming out. I grew up on the comics and the cartoons and all that stuff.
See,
so
you're to X-Men to what I am to Star Trek.
Right, pretty much.
I mean, it's like. Yeah, I'm not even gonna really go into ranting about the new movies because,
of course, the weird thing is, it's like Jean Grey and Cyclops are alive again, but the next movie, from what I've heard, is supposed to be based like around 1989, before the events of any of the actual first 3 movies happened.
Oh, jeez.
So they're going to be using the younger cast again, and that's just what I understood from what I watched on a video today, actually. And it's like, oh, okay. I mean, I get it. Like, some of the other cast members are getting a little older based on, the amount of time between movies and all that. But you've just kind of left us with, like, a little good taste in our mouth. Don't make it nasty by, like, putting us back in time again.
And they're like...
I want to see more with Jean Grey and Cyclops. I'm sorry, I've never liked Cyclops as a character. Dude's always been so damn uptight, it's not even funny. And apparently in the X-Men First Class movie, they mentioned, it was just like a small mention that may or may not have anything to do with any of the future movies, and didn't have much to do with that movie in general, as they mentioned some of the characters from the First Class movie that died. Like, they killed off the characters of Banshee and Angel and I can't remember how to pronounce the other guy's name, but he looked like the devil and could teleport. like Nightcrawler does.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Azazel or something like that. But it's like, oh, and the worst one, Emma Frost, who, in the Wolverine origin movie, was alive and a fucking teenager set in the same time frame. You see what I mean? This problem. Like she was she was an adult in probably her 30s in the First Class movie. In the origin movie, she had a bit of the character had a bit of a cameo where she was probably 16.
Yeah, that's
like, wait, this is set in like the same time, right? What?
Yeah, it kind of seems to get a little confusing.
Right. So it's. But again, if I keep going on that, I will go all night because there's a lot of things. So, but yeah, next movie, Apocalypse. The next real X-Men movie. There's one character that's going to be. Well, no, like there's another character that's going to be getting his own movie.
Oh, really?
Gambit.
No way.
Apparently going to be played by Channing Tatum.
Serious?
That stings a little bit. Channing Tatum's a great actor, but being a Cajun dude, don't seem right. That don't sit well one bit. Nah, see, so it's kind of troublesome, but
yeah, I'm not even gonna try and process that. That just
because like the thing is like Gambit has he's kind of got a muscle structure, he's got some strength to him, but he's not as buff as Channing Tatum is.
Right.
Channing Tatum is like one of those brick shithouse kind of guys.
Yeah, right. I mean,
well, that's another thing that irritates me.
What are they gonna do? Like green screen him, and like some of his muscle.
They did it for Chris Evans for a while there in the Captain America movie, but that was only for a short period of time. They can't do the whole damn movie. So, like, I don't think Gambit's gonna fit in his trademark duster or anything like that.
No. Well, I mean, just like in the Captain America movie, they only needed him for, till they actually made him into Captain America.
Yeah,
then it was like,
but boom. Gambit's not a super soldier. See, that's the thing. In the Wolverine origin story, they had a Gambit. He looked like a great Gambit. He played a great Gambit. The guy had the cockiness that Gambit would have. They made the character well. So why not just use him? But no, they're just,
Well,
yeah, it's just, it is what it is.
It's kind of like on Iron Man. They had the first movie had a good Rhodes, and then I don't know whether he just didn't re-sign for the other two movies or
he was in there.
Wait. Different guy.
Are we sure about this?
Yes. I watch the movies frequently.
Oh, you know what? You're right. It's been a while since I've watched the first one. You are right. Yeah, but you know what? The other guys are pretty good too.
I know. It just kind of took a while because it's like you kind of got used to the one guy.
Right.
I can't think what. I don't know their names.
Give me a second here.
Their real names.
Right. Give me a second here. I'll find it. Keep talking.
Because, Google. But
no, IMDb. Shit.
Oh, get the.
Like I already have it up from something I was checking earlier today.
Very nice.
What was I checking earlier?
But
right, that's what I was checking earlier today. Sorry, I keep interrupting you, but this is actually kind of important. I'll just throw this out here, and then you can continue. Our hearts go out to the family of James Garner, a great actor who passed away. So, I found out about it today. I just wanted to get that out there. So I didn't know many of his films.
He?
Very. Oh, God. Older than my mom. I think he was born in 48, I think it said. Let me look here. Go back. One more. Wait. No, wait. Hold on. No, sorry. Even later. He was born in 1928. Age 86.
So, 86.
Yeah.
That's what I thought I'd read. Because I read some... I browsed through things real quick and whatever.
I just browse.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
No, but like I thought, they both did a good job in the as Rhodes, but I don't know. The first guy just kind of had a attitude about him that he brought to
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
That's the first guy.
Okay, that they just kind of brought to, the movie. It was like I don't know. I just always felt that his character was more believable. As
Don Cheadle.
Oh.
I thought that was Don Cheadle. I just want to make sure on that one.
Okay. And anyway, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like both actors. They did well in the role. It just was kind of like, but they had somebody who did good, and then now they got somebody different for the other two movies. This don't make sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, on the upside, at least they didn't replace who Stark was or who Pepper was or anything like that.
I think if they would have done that,
the series would have failed horribly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not because it's like that's not Robert Downey Jr., but it's because they switched the actors at that point.
Yep.
It's kind of like if they decided to make after the next two Avengers movies, we're not going to see Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark anymore. So if they ever want to do another thing where Stark's there, they're going to have to change the actor. Or they're going to have to start including War Machine, which he was an Avenger too.
Yeah.
Off and on. So, which could be interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing Don Cheadle rock the War Machine or Iron Patriot, whichever suit.
I like War Machine. Much
War Machine's
cooler.
better. So I wouldn't mind seeing that continue to be a thing. If they decide to continue with the Avengers movies. Although Chris Evans, Captain America,
woohoo,
he's only gonna stick around for so much longer too. So, which is fine because there's room. Well, it's mostly just people with wishful thinking, perhaps, that they might do something in the future with the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes, where he becomes a new Captain America. Because in the comic series, at one point when Captain America dies, Bucky does take over the mantle and become Captain America.
Oh, serious? I did not know that.
Kind of the same as the Ant-Man character. The Ant-Man character has been multiple people. Not all at once, but it starts with Hank Pym, who creates Ant-Man, and then other people become Ant-Man from there. Like Pym goes a little crazy, stops being Ant-Man. In one of the cartoon series, fakes his death, and comes back as another guy. I can't remember the character's name, but so the mantle of Ant-Man gets passed on to a guy. I can't remember his name, but he's like a con man and all that, who gets his hands on the Ant-Man suit and starts using it because he wanted to get money to help his sick daughter. Pym eventually finds out because he's still alive, says, "Hey, I'll let you keep the suit, blah, 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 but you have to do only good things with it."
Huh.
So then that guy becomes the next Ant-Man. So sometimes the superhero mantle gets passed down from person to person. So Captain America being one, Ant-Man being another. I know there's a few more out there that get passed on. So still looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy, though.
Yes, so am I.
Every time I see a trailer for it, whether it's a new one or one I've seen a couple of times already, I just think, man, I can't wait for that. I cannot wait for Rocket the Raccoon.
And what do you think about the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Ugh. I think they look retarded.
You do, huh?
Yep. It's just not the same, man.
I don't know. I've seen
Grover.
trailers and whatever, and I'm like, okay, they got Megan Fox as April O'Neil.
I could care less about Megan Fox. Yeah, she's hot-ish, but I don't care. I don't really care. Doesn't matter. As far as the Turtles go, they look retarded, and I don't like that. I like what we grew up with. They actually look feasible and cool. But it's no, now they just look like morons that, were born with deficiencies.
Yeah, well.
So, although, you know, growing up a Turtles fan, you might think that some of them were, but...
Right,
So,
I always kind of...
Michelangelo. Ugh.
Yep.
There was one funny part in the trailer that I seen where Megan Fox's character, first season, I think it was Megan Fox's character, I don't know, but first meets a couple of turtles, and one of them happens to be Michelangelo, the dumb one. And he's like, whoa, it's okay, don't worry. Look, it's just a mask. Takes off his, well, you know, the orange mask and all that. See? It's fine.
and
then she faints. Like,
I saw that. I actually got a kick out of that.
It's like, I don't think I'll go and see that in the theaters. I'm going to wait till that comes out on DVD and see what I can, see if it's worth it then.
I'm undecided on whether it will or won't.
Right. Like, I don't think it's going to be something worth me going and seeing in the theaters. It's not like the old ones. Those were cool. I went and seen those in the theaters. I won't do it with this new one. Someday, when I'm bored, I might find it on like Netflix or find a DVD copy of it and watch it and see what it's like. But for now, the way things are now, I'm not going to be worried about it. It's kind of a thing of this is for the new generation, so if the new generation likes it enough, let them have it. We have ours, which will always be better.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because we had fucking Kevin Nash, the wrestler, play Super Shredder.
Yep, and that was awesome.
It's like, shit, dude, I found out about that before the internet was really a thing. It's like, yeah, man, somehow that information still got around.
I know. It a lot of information before the internet could just get around.
Because that was back when I didn't have the attention span to sit there and read the credits. So I wasn't for sure. I thought it was just a rumor. So I was like, hey, that's neat. So, But, yeah. Anyway, we are at like an hour. We were just at an hour and 11 minutes and 11 seconds.
Cool. We're good. Oh, so, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That's a lot of that stuff, so.
Yep.
Anything else you got?
A little old news, I guess. Kind of. 9-year-old that turned her parents in for selling and doing drugs.
That is kind of awesome.
It was in Minnesota.
Minnesota.
And
Canada's butthole. Oh, I mean.
About that. Oh, no. And, I don't know. I read that and I went, huh? No, 9-year-old just goes and turns her parents over and it's like, yeah, my parents are junkies and selling marijuana and whatever. And I'm like, really? I don't know. I just kind of find that funny. Not because, you know, I don't know. It's more.
It's interesting to say the least.
Yes, it's more.
Mommy and Daddy were smoking the funny stuff.
Yeah.
I started feeling happy.
Oh boy.
Happy.
Dude,
I don't know what it is, man. I don't know if it's like the weather or allergies or what, but my voice has been getting raspy lately. It's weird.
You're weird.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure you, and everybody else that might be watching this is aware of that by now. So. That's just something I felt like pointing out, like, I'm getting raspy, or maybe I'm smoking too little, I need to smoke more. Muller, damn it, Muller! Probably not. Don't smoke, kids, it's bad for you.
Yeah.
Oh, God, my mom was telling me, because she was reading the paper today, this lady that had a court case going against a tobacco company because her husband died of lung cancer from smoking. The guy died back in '96. The lady had a open case against him since then. She won. She fucking won.
Oh, that's good.
She won. No, it's not. It's retarded.
Wait.
She won the case because she was suing a tobacco company because her husband, who smoked, got lung cancer. That's retarded.
Oh, I see. Oh.
Right. Now you get it.
I get it. I'm sorry. I was reading and trying to listen to you.
Lady, I'm sorry for your loss. Almost 20 years ago. But
smoking causes cancer. It is proven.
Yes. Like, there is warning label. There's warnings on the side of the goddamn pack. As my mom was telling me this, I started reading it off. Surgeon General's warning. Quitting smoking now Quitting smoking now greatly reduces serious risk to your health. It tells you it's bad for you, basically. If you don't understand that that's saying it's bad for you, keep smoking, man. You're doing good. You will get to where you need to be soon enough. God will work out the rest from there.
Right.
So, it just kind of pisses me off. Like, she won, and she won like millions and millions of dollars. I think actually close to $1 billion. I can't remember the exact number, but it was a lot of fucking money. That's like, that's retarded. And blah, 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 we need to crack down more on tobacco. Like, why? Like, they're knowingly selling harmful products. So do soda companies and chip companies and candy companies. They're harmful too. But you know what? They're not as disgusting to watch people do. They don't smell as bad. You know, for all you non-smokers out there that are like going on these fucking tirades about people who do smoke, fuck you. Fuck you, Truth Organization. You guys can go suck the biggest dick in hell. I don't care. You judgmental pricks. I hate you. I hate you with a passion, an undying passion, and your commercials make me want to smoke more. In fact, every time I see one on TV, I light another fucking cigarette. Just for you.
Can I explain something about tobacco? Tobacco in it of itself is not bad. Okay?
It's natural.
It is the filter that has all the 500 or whatever number of chemicals.
Not so much the filter. It's
and
the
all the
preservatives within
preservatives. Okay, I stand corrected.
Yeah, it's everything that's in here that gets burned up. So, here's the front of the cigarette where the tobacco is. It's everything in here that preserves it. Because as soon as you open a pack, yes, if you leave them sitting for like a month, they'll go stale. They will. But, there's a lot of preservatives in here and other things that do God knows what. So, yeah, that'll cause some bad shit, man. There's a lot of chemicals in there.
So, what am I saying? Roll your own. It's cheaper.
Depends.
It is cheaper.
That depends. Starters, there's still preservatives in those somewhat, just less. Second of all, depends on where you buy and what brand you buy to roll your own, because I went back from rolling my own to smoking from a regular preset pack because rolling my own would have been more expensive at the time. When they started raising the cigarette taxes again, it got to the monthly bill for rolling my own would have been more expensive. Rolling your own can be a little bit more dangerous because those things don't always roll right and can cause a fire. In the end, when rolling your own, if you're not good at it, you can end up losing money every time you roll one because shit doesn't go well. You break a tube, or you overdo the tobacco, and then you lose some and all that. And it's a pain in the ass. As somebody who rolled my own, god dang it, I hated that.
You would have benefited from learning from Stan.
Probably.
He's a guy that we've known for years, and this guy, very few times would I see him, actually having a pack of cigarettes. He'd prefer just to go roll his own stuff, and like there's a guy.
For a while, it worked for me. Like the only reason why I'd ever buy a pack is because my old box is getting broken and destroyed. Tend to buy a new pack, smoke those, and then put all the self-rolled ones into the pack. It was just easier that way. So I buy a pack. The box would last me like a month. Go out, buy another pack. Box would last me a month. Stuff like that.
Well, and like I know one guy where at work, he was talking to me one time about how he would roll about 500 cigarettes, and it lasts him about a month.
Which, is a good idea. A lot of the, you can buy big boxes of the tubes, and I think they usually come in about 500. So yeah, that can actually last you a month, which is good. But it's kind of, sometimes if you don't do it right, it comes down to like the whole not enough hot dogs to fill all the buns dilemma that supermarket people around the world have given us all over the place. It's like sometimes you have filters left over but not enough tobacco. And then, you go out and buy some more tobacco and some more filters, and eventually gets to the point where you have tobacco left over but no filters.
Well, most people I know just reuse the filters who roll.
Well, no, I shouldn't say just the filters.
Because, I
don't know how. There's different ways of doing it, so I don't know how everybody does it. When I did it, I just went out, bought a box of a couple hundred tubes to roll them in, smoke them, and that was it. There was no need to reuse the filter. The next tube had the filter.
So, you actually had tubes?
Yeah, I didn't actually roll.
Everybody I know just had the paper. They roll it.
That'd probably be a little bit easier, actually.
Well, that's what I thought you did.
No.
I never saw the thing.
I had an annoying fucking mechanism that I had to put the tube on, put the tobacco in, stuff the tobacco down, and then close the thing, and then very gently, but not too gently, because if you do it too gently, then it fucks up too. So you had to do it just right where you slid the thing and got the tobacco in there, and there's always a little bit right down by the filter that didn't get in. Fucking son of a bitch, that part.
See, and that's why I always tried telling you that it's cheaper, but I didn't realize you were doing tubes. See, I don't smoke, but I know all this shit for some reason.
Also, I'd just like to say, don't smoke. It's not good for you. I know it's not good for me, but I've been doing it for 14, 15 years now.
Well,
and I stopped giving a shit when I started.
The thing is that, that, like the Indians, they used to smoke tobacco, but this was pure tobacco.
We didn't have such things as preservatives then. So.
Yeah, it wasn't anything preserved. It was, they went out, they got the plant, they dried the leaves, and they smoked it.
Which, honestly, I'd love nothing more than actually start growing my own tobacco and be able to do that.
Well,
I know I'm probably going to have to have a special permit for that shit, but...
Well,
Lucian's homemade tobacco. Also, pipes are hard to smoke if you're not good at them.
It's best to have that it can cause a little bit of a vacuum. Get your tongue stuck on one.
Never had that happen.
I heard of that.
But yeah, you can, but it's I've never had that happen.
Right.
I haven't worked with it that well. There's some points where it's and this is the bad part about smoking. When you run out, you get a little desperate. If you don't have the money, you find ways. I had some pipe tobacco. I had a bag full of vanilla pipe tobacco. That shit tasted wonderful, by the way. But there's times I run out of cigarettes, not have money to get more or anything like that. Well, that usually meant break out the old rolling kit. Break out the pipe tobacco. Incidentally, there is a difference. Pipe tobacco is moist, and regular tobacco is better dry. So, well, dry-ish, but pipe tobacco has a tendency to keep staying moist. At least the bag I had did. That's just hard to smoke as a cigarette. It's just hard to make a cigarette out of.
It seems to me that it wouldn't make much of a difference.
It kind of swells a little bit when it's moist. So
that's
You
interesting.
can get the same amount in a cigarette, but it's a lot harder to actually get into a cigarette form.
Oh, nice.
So it's a pain in the ass. I gotta find that bag of tobacco too. One of the other want to get back to trying to toy around with smoking a pipe and doing a little bit of vanilla tobacco. Smelled great. But yeah, that's it's smoking is smoking. I don't recommend it. If you're doing it, you're doing it. If you're not, good for you. Don't let anybody tell you, hey, that's gross. It's like kissing an ashtray. Well, when was the last time you fucking tongued an ashtray? You do that and then you tell me it's like kissing an ashtray, and I'll believe you. That's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. It's like kissing an ashtray. Have you made out with an ashtray recently? No? Shut up.
See, just to be an asshole, somebody should look at you and be like, yes, I tongued an ashtray last night and I don't want to do it again.
Congratulations, you've got more problems than kissing me. Just saying.
Yeesh. But another thing that my friend's soon-to-be ex-wife was talking to me about, or showing me, was a thing. It's about that long, The damn thing looks like a dildo. I am not lying about this.
I was about to say they call that something.
Right, and it looks like a dildo, but it's actually a vaporizer type thing. It's not an e-cig.
Right.
It's different. It actually has a little thing that you put like some nicotine in it, and you put like different flavored juices or whatever. Like you can get like stuff like that tastes like gummy bears and apples and pineapples and whatever, and you go around and you can just take a hit off it. It's like the e-cig in that it goes in as vapor.
Right.
But that's where the similarity ends, because there's no filter. It just vaporizes it, you inhale it, and that's all there is to it.
The thing about an e-cig is with like some e-cigs, like the one I smoke on, the filter is where it keeps all the stuff, like the nicotine and all that. The battery's actually in the longer part, and the filter is for like the nicotine and all that shit. You just it basically just runs the vapor through there, it seems, from what I've seen.
Right.
So
let me bring
this. It's you could do that without the filter, but then you'd be sucking on a battery.
Right.
So, but that shit gets warm sometimes too. It's weird. If you suck too hard, it gets hot and starts burning your lips, because you're not smoking paper anymore. You're smoking on metal. Stuff a nice metal rod down your face. But no, I've seen the kind of thing. I've seen the kind of thing you're talking about. Usually they have like different juices for that, is what they would call them probably. So, juices for vaping.
Oh boy.
That's kind of like more true vaping, which I'd like to get into that, but some of those vape things are a little bit more expensive depending. So, but one of these days I gotta take my happy ass to a cigarette shop and take a look. Actually, you know what? I'm supposed to see about going and getting more smokes tomorrow sometime after my doctor's appointment.
Look at that. It's got a little mustache on it. I think I want that. I'm serious, guys. I wouldn't do the nicotine one, but I would do that just for one reason. Okay, two reasons. It would look cool, and I could totally pull off steampunk that way.
Perhaps.
Anyway, I think it could be done.
Yeah. Anyway, don't smoke. It's not good for you. Take it from somebody who actually does it. I know better. It hasn't had the most illicit effects on me yet, even though I've been doing it for like 14, 15 years or whatever. Or even my stepdad, for that matter. He's been smoking for like 40 some odd years now, and he's still alive and kicking pretty damn good. But it's not always that way. It can kill you.
Oh yeah,
as far as what I've actually understood from real studies, secondhand smoke only kills you if you already have pre-existing conditions that would only be aggravated by such things. So you don't usually get actual cancer from secondhand smoke if you're not already pre-exposed to some sort of existing condition. Well, that's what I understand. I haven't seen any real proof towards or against such ideas.
What was it? My grandmother's friend, she passed on a few years back, but she had diabetes. But they found a growth of or buildup of calcium, or a growth or something like that. That they say. They asked, do you smoke? She goes, never smoked. I've been around people all my life who smoke, but never been around or never done it myself. And doctor goes, well, the only way that you could have got this is by smoking. And so I guess they concluded that she's
a filthy liar. Kidding.
That she got this by secondhand smoke.
Yeah, how much did she actually spend around it though? Like,
her husband smoked a lot.
That'll do it then. And that's one of those like special circumstances of like, if you're around a person who smokes, as you would consider a lot, that kind of thing might be happening. It's more of that average thing of like, an average person walking by somebody who's smoking a cigarette.
Oh, no,
biggest
no.
thing in smoke. It's not actually dangerous.
No,
dude. That's
that's not.
You're overreacting, just like stupid people that think vaccines cause autism.
Depends on the vaccine.
Don't tell me you're one of those people.
I'm one of these people that I don't discount it.
I do. I think that's retarded.
There's a big increase of autism that's been happening for 20 years? For whatever.
It's in the water.
I
Or how
actually
about,
talked about that on the Blue Screen
How
Talk
about the
Show.
different hormonal imbalances that are caused because of the different hormonal injections into a lot of the animals that we have these days?
And I talked about that too.
There's a lot of things that could be increasing autism. Going and getting vaccinated from things definitely isn't increasing it. I'm almost positive of that.
Or refer to the Blue Screen Talk Show episode 2, which where I talked about 16 reasons to have sex.
Right. That's probably more entertaining.
Daily.
So you guys, you need to check that out and show it to your ladies.
Yes. Because it actually, I'm like, absolutely. I actually agree with everything.
However, that after you show them that part, do not show them the part about the rise in autism. They may rethink it.
Well, I mean,
just say,
sex helps with immunity.
Well, yeah, for the people having it, I'm sure.
Right.
Not so much for a kid that might be born out of it and have autism. Well, you don't want to scare. You don't want to say, "Hey, sweetie, look, here's 16 good reasons why we should bang every day," and then say, "Hey, look, sweetie, autism is on the rise." It kind of defeats the purpose then. It's like, hey, guess what isn't on the rise now?
'Cause Edie.
No, because she shot him down after the autism thing.
Oh,
Like, wow, so autism's on the rise. I'm now worried about us having a kid too early and it being autistic. Thanks.
Like I said,
Damn
16 reasons to have sex daily.
Yes, but all you need is one good one not to. All women need is one good one not to.
I was gonna say, by the way, some of the stuff that they say, or your woman will say, you can refute.
Right.
So anyway,
all right. We are just a little over an hour and a half. So, lightning round from Reddit.
Something I wanted to read was
shocking things you didn't know you could buy with food
stamps. Okay.
This ought to be
so, let's. Here we go. Quiznos, or I'm reading that right? No. I'm sorry. Taco Bell is one of the many fast food places that accepts food stamps.
Can use for bail. Knew that.
Yeah.
Don't ask.
What?
Lingerie.
Yeah, sure.
Right, because I want to look trashy and sexy. I'm sorry, that's rude to people who shop with food stamps.
Yeah.
That's just because we used food stamps once when I was young and I was trashy doesn't mean you are.
KFC.
That's surprising.
No, it ain't really.
And strip clubs.
Are you serious?
You know what? I take that back.
My tax dollars are going to send you to a strip club.
Right, well, at least you can put a smile on a guy's face then, right? Be happy. Have a stripper. We're not even going to get into the taxes. Let's just do Reddit, and then we're going to call
Reddit.
it night. Because you know what? I have got to piss like a racehorse. Or race like a piss horse. I don't know. I can't tell. Things start flooding up to here, and I start losing it. So...
Wait, you're starting?
No, more than I already have.
Okay.
Like I go from being me to I gargle a lot. So...
I thought that just meant you were full.
Yeah, that's the problem. Then I explode.
Oh, wrong.
Okay, right. Okay, Reddit lightning round here.
Woohoo!
What would you do every day if you could?
Sex.
I already masturbate, so I can't do that.
Sex with a beautiful woman every single day, maybe even 3 times a day.
I'm gonna say sex with your beautiful woman every time a day, maybe 3 times a day, so
Hey,
you can't.
No.
So you can't. That's what I do every day.
No. Sorry, buddy. We may share things, but no.
Hey, it didn't specify that I couldn't steal somebody else's sex puppet or cocksucker. What do you want to call it?
Now this is true.
Honestly, you want something good, you want something realistic, want something really romantic. I'd love to have said beautiful girl for myself, not his beautiful girl, my idea of a beautiful girl, and just be able to wake up next to her every day. How about that? That is something I would love nothing more than to have.
Actually, I'm with him on that.
And if I can wake up to his beautiful girl right behind mine, it's even better. Boom. Okay, have you ever hate fucked someone? Yes, but it wasn't the person I was hating on at the moment. I was just pissed off at somebody, and then the opportunity arose, and then went for it.
I never have.
There's a story behind that, but I won't go into it right now.
I never have, but I wanted to. She wanted to one last screw, which never happened. And
right. Sometimes it's better that way.
Yeah, I was kind of glad it didn't happen.
Let's see here. What is a normal word, not racial slur or swear, that you simply refuse to use? I fucking hate the word guesstimate.
Really?
Estimating is guessing anyway. You don't need to add guess.
And this is true. I just never thought of that, but you know.
Now, on the other hand, I have a word that I like to use. There's a lot of people that will say like the phrase just out of sheer curiosity. Sometimes that's too long to say, so I just shorten it to curiosity.
Oh, that's nice.
So, trademark, patent pending, all that shit.
See, and I actually don't have a word like that. I just don't. Wait, no. Mother? Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I don't like using the proper term for parents. You know, it annoys me, when it...
I don't mind. Usually I just call my mom, but occasionally, if I just want to be weird, I'll just come to her, oh, mother dear.
Well, and that's me. When I'm just screwing around, I'll be like, oh, mother, oh, father, kind of like on those old cartoons, oh, mother, get the thing, or something like that. But
this isn't very lightning round. I'm just saying. Okay, moving on. This one's a little hard. We might have to come back to this one some other day. What is your hometown famous for? Besides somebody trying to burn down our school years ago?
Patton Cabin. It's a historic landmark.
Yeah, but that would
I've seen people from Britain come through here.
Yeah, we can do better than that. It's not bad.
Oh, yeah. I know, but, I mean...
how about... No, I got nothing. Fuck it. Close enough.
The school is up there.
Like, we had, when Lincoln was off on his campaign trail and all that, actually taking trains around and campaigning to people, he came through Lexington. It was like one of our biggest things. I live in the first ever Habitat for Humanity house that was actually built in Lexington 20 years before I even moved into it. In other words, it's a really old house.
Yep. Not as old as mine.
I've lived there since 96 and it was 20 years old. So... let's see here. What else we got? What is the sluttiest thing you've ever done? Said girl that I hate fucked but didn't actually hate. Hated somebody else at the moment and fucked her instead. That might have been it actually right there, the hate fuck. Though actually initially when I met said girl, it was actually just supposed to be I was 18 or 19 and it was just supposed to be a one night stand. And that was the intent. I went there to get my dick wet for the second time ever in my life. And then we actually hit it off really well. She had just gotten out of a hard relationship. I didn't care. I just wanted to get my dick wet. And then we actually really hit it off.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we've been friends for 11 years now.
Yep.
So, I guess I mean, yeah, we fucked each other's brains out that first night, like, and the next morning.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Like, we really were not walking right. Like, our hips hurt, like, horribly that next day.
That's when you know you've done it
And then,
right.
then we hit it off well, and then we, dated for a little while, but decided just to kind of stay friends, although she still has some feelings. But you know what? That's complicated.
I'll say this, though. If your hips hurt, there's either you've done it right, or you just need to work on your pelvic muscles.
If both parties' hips hurt, you've either done it really right or really wrong.
Right.
But if both your hips
or
hurt,
you're really out of shape.
If both your hips hurt and you're both still smiling, you did it right. You're good. You're fine.
Absolutely.
You're good to go.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. If Bruce Wayne became Batman because he was scared of bats, what superhero would you become? Sadly, probably Spider-Man. Because when I see spiders, I scream like a little girl.
It's true. It's
that's like
true.
That's like being chased around by like a boy with a toad or something. And they just scream like, ah! Like I would usually scream for my mom or my brother to come kill a fucking spider. It was horrible.
Yeah, and I remember being in the basement and hearing you scream because there was a spider,
I try not to scream when other people besides my family are around. I'm pretty sure I haven't. I cringe and ugh a lot when that happens if other people are around. Like, okay, that night we were at our friend's place in Gridley, though.
Yes.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
They pulled like three huge ass. I say huge ass, but they're not as big as I make them sound.
They were about that big.
Which
that
to
big
me is
spiders.
fucking hideously huge. To our friend who, the female that just recently moved in there, she was about as terrified of spiders as I was, and she was about to break out into tears because those god-awful things were in her basement.
I feel bad.
She had recently been apparently bitten by a spider as well, too.
Yeah. So
she was losing her shit, man. And me...
She had an obvious reason to lose her shit.
Me, I was the biggest motherfucker there, and I retreated to the other room.
He did.
I was
like, shit,
Like, one dude that was there got a jar and kept him alive so we could release him. Like, dude, if they're in that jar, do me a favor and pour as much water or gasoline in there as possible. If it's gasoline, take it outside and let that shit on fire now. Fuck that. Like, no, bad spider.
So, him...
Because I'm getting over my fear of needles.
That's...
Like, every time anymore I have to go in for blood work or whatever, I bring my phone in to either read or play something on all that shit, and anymore I just end up in conversations with the nurses instead. Nothing like, oh hey, you're hot or anything like that, because it's rare that I actually get a younger, hotter nurse or anything. They get older, more sophisticated ladies.
Right.
But it's like, just start chatting about one thing or another, and it's like, huh. One of these days I'm going to learn not to bring my phone out even. I don't give a shit no more. Like, god dang. Like, I get all prepped, and it's like, conversation. Know what's happening, can still feel it, but conversation keep me focused. God dang it. Didn't need phone after all. Good, needs charge.
Me, I have no idea. I don't really know exactly what phobia I have.
Number 4 has a phobia of commitment.
Yes. So,
fucking asshole.
What would... I don't even know what superhero he could be then.
Commitment, man, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
Batman feared bats. He became Batman. So I guess number 4 become Commitment Man, where he'd face his fears and maybe finally hook up with that girl and actually become a couple again.
Yeah,
and
really.
That way they get fucking married. And then that way I don't have to hear about it. No, I hear about it more. Yeah, I know, right? Like, oh, God forbid.
I know. It's... I don't know.
That's another long story that I don't really want to get into.
Very long story.
Because it's not really our story.
Yep.
But there's some hilarity that ensues in it. But yeah, you're gonna.
It's a fun little soap opera that we're not.
That little bastard really has his life play out like it would in an anime.
Yep.
It's retarded, ridiculous.
Yeah, he does.
Let's see. Any other good questions on Reddit?
I still remember some stuff he told me. I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
Let's see here. What opinion of yours would upset a lot of people? That'll take too long, no.
Yep, not getting
What's the biggest misconception about where you live? That we're important. That's mostly a misconception that people who live in this town have.
Yep. It's true.
Let's see. What little things anger you the most? People in this town. I'm kidding. Ever since I got out of high school, I don't give a shit. No, that's not accurate. There's still some people I hate.
Say.
There's still some people I hate.
Oh. They don't even remember you, probably.
No, I mean, like, there's members of a certain ass-backwards church that belong to this town that I can't stand and would rather see burn in a fire someday. You know them. You used to go to the church.
Oh, that one.
Well, okay, I shouldn't say I want to see them burn in a fire, but I wouldn't mind seeing the church burn in a fire. And that's bad, because I don't want to wish that upon a church, but that's not a house of God. That's a house of lies.
Well, I don't know. They've kind of...
I haven't heard anything because I don't know anybody that goes there anymore, and I don't care.
I've heard things and stuff, and yeah, it's... I don't know. It's all a bunch of interesting stuff and speculation based on basically the mayor.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, that goes into all sorts of other weird politics stuff that we don't want to talk about right now. It does. Okay, moving on then. Reddit, what is your life motto? Shit happens and you die.
Live free or die hard?
No,
wait, no.
That's not actually accurate for me. Mine
that.
is hope for the best, expect the worst. That seems to be the most accurate life motto that I have. It describes my life, like, to the T. Hope for the best, expect the worst. Because usually that's what you're going to get when a bad situation happens.
Day by day.
Step by
just
no.
yeah about that. No, but seriously, that's the way I look at life. Just take it a day at a time. You know, you can try and plan things out, but I recognized a long time ago that life happens. You know, that's why you take it day by day, enjoy the good with the bad.
What's a weird rule that you impose on yourself for no real reason? Don't masturbate on Sundays.
Real? Oh.
It's not like I follow that rule.
Oh, okay.
It's just one I started at one point.
Right.
Mostly it was one of those things I used to keep a old friend off of fucking porn on my computers after church on Sundays. It just seemed wrong. Like, he'd go to church and then he'd then either come over after or leave halfway and then come over and just borrow my computer and look at porn. It's like, I didn't mind any other day because he was a weird dude, but he was one of my best friends, so I didn't mind. It's just I told him not on Sundays. It was more of a weird rule I imposed on him.
Weird ways of looking at things, but yeah.
I try to impose the rule of I don't know, it's not even really, it shouldn't even be really considered weird. It's more of, it's kind of don't act perfect because you're not. For myself, like I want to. I'm not always humble. I know that, but I want to be more so, be a more kind of humble person because I know I'm not perfect.
Right.
So it's one of those things that I believe in putting that rule myself of don't act perfect because you're far from it, dude. I have to just call myself dude, but whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine, dude.
It's fine, dude. No, I don't know. I don't necessarily find that as a rule.
It's actually kind of also more of a motto as well.
Yeah.
Sort of, but
I mean, and I share that. I don't.
Right. It's just hard telling other people that think they're perfect that you're not perfect, bro.
Yeah. Well, and then what's really fun is to find out, or you get people who think that they're perfect or smarter than you, and then you actually start talking about things. Let me explain something. I'm one of these guys that if you tell me you know something, I'm going to treat you and talk on that level because you told me you know how to do it. So therefore, I expect you to know what I'm talking about when I start talking on that level. And then I, in turn, make you seem like an asshole when, you inadvertently figure out that, well, you actually know nothing about this. And,
Depending on the circumstances, you can become the asshole in that situation, though.
Yes.
So
Oh,
be careful.
Yes. And
It's not really like that. He's just an asshole.
whack.
See? He's trying to hit me. He's an asshole. Anyway.
I have bad depth perception.
Anyway, this jackass, doesn't understand lightning round. So I'm going to call it quits on this for now.
Lightning round? What's that?
It's where I start striking you with lightning. God gave me the special ability that I can only use on you.
Oh boy.
You're fucked. Anyway,
Shit.
so I think we're going to call it quits for tonight because you know what? It is almost 4 o'clock in the morning because we got up that's a little late because I got home after midnight tonight.
Just a little late, but it's alright because, like I said, I've gone back to my third shift schedule and, well, he never left. So
I'm finding that I'm actually usually going to bed around 5 o'clock anymore and keeping an actual constant time mostly. So kind of happy with that instead of, I'll just stay up till 8 o'clock doing whatever the fuck I want. Also, though, I've been gone most of the day, and I'm talking like I've been up since like 1 and I've been gone most of the day. I kind of want to go home. So,
wow.
And just like crawl in my PJs and cuddle my kitties and like punch a donkey and masturbate to it or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Right. Because
it might be up on like, YouPorn or RedTube or something like that.
Okay.
So, not the cuddling part. That's just for me.
Man.
So, if
he
you
cuts out all the good stuff.
No, you ain't seen the good stuff yet. Where's the donkey?
Oh, boy.
Anyway.
Donkey show.
We love you guys for watching us, sticking with us, and letting us stick it in. No,
yeah, what? Wait.
Only that one
well.
time. Only one time, and it was consensual. Anyway, thank you. We love you guys.
Yeah, but
we want
the
you to have
donkey, I mean...
The donkey doesn't get a say. He knows what he did wrong. He takes it.
Ah!
Thank you. We love you guys.
Thank you. We love you.
Have our babies. We'll have yours. So on and so
Yep.
forth. The usual stuff. And that is it. Stop looking at me. Don't stare at me until next time. Bye.
You'll see us. We won't see you. Invisible people.
Creepy.
I know, right?
Invisible people. All right.
All right.
That's it. Bye.
Bye.